Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Carey.
What's up?
All right, guys, we're back. This episode, we're going to discuss the 2020 black comedy thriller entitled Promising Young Woman. This is starring Carey Mulligan, Alison Brie, Clancy Brown, Jennifer Coolidge, and Laverne Cox. Carey, you had the luxury of seeing this.
Yes.
So, and this was one you were super hyped for.
I was hyped for it a fucking year ago.
Yeah, like forever.
They were like, it's coming out in February. Just kidding.
Yeah. We'll see you in a year.
Yes. So to December and finally came out.
Yeah. So tell us what actually, I have the premise here. I'll read the premise and then we'll get your initial thoughts and then we'll go a little bit more in depth. The premise here is everyone said Cassie, played by
Cassie,
played by Carey Mulligan, was a promising young woman until a mysterious event abruptly derailed her future. However, nothing in Cassie's life is what it appears to be. She's wickedly smart and tantalizingly cunning, and she is living a secret double life by night. An unexpected encounter is about to give Cassie a chance to right the wrongs of the past. Okay, so that doesn't tell people a lot. I know a little bit.
It really doesn't tell people anything.
Right. It's sort of like useless as a premise.
Yeah.
But give a better, your better perception of what it is.
Sure. So Cassie was like a medical school student, like top of her class, was going to become a doctor, was going to be a great doctor. And then the thing that happened was like her and her best friend Nina were both like childhood best friends, grew up, went into med school together, and then they never show it, and Nina herself is never seen or heard from in the film. Nina was raped at a party where basically some guy raped her, and like a bunch of this dude's friends like stood around and watched it happen. And so Nina ends up presumably developing PTSD of some sort, and Nina drops out, and then Cassie dropped out to take care of Nina, and it is never explicitly said, but it is implied that Nina kills herself after the incident. So Cassie, after dropping out, is working at a little coffee shop with Laverne Cox's character, and Laverne Cox looks fine as hell in this movie, I must say.
Character of Gail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gail is just like the coffee shop manager.
Okay.
So
I like Laverne Cox. She's it's good. I liked her in Orange is the New Black, so it's kind of cool to see her. I mean, she seems to be sort of expanding the type of role she's in. So that's good.
She doesn't have a huge role in this movie, but it was just like, I was like, hell yeah, Laverne Cox is in this movie. Nice. But in any case, Cassie's sort of like double nighttime life is she goes to a bar every weekend and she pretend being the key word, she pretends that she is too drunk to function. And every single weekend, a guy is like, oh, you need help from me, a nice guy. Mm-hmm. And they try to take her home. And every single time she's like pretending to sort of like pass out and whatnot. And every single time a dude fucking tries to take advantage of her and she like turns it on and is like, I'm not drunk. Like, I'm not.
That is
like,
unfortunate for them. I guess.
And so she,
good for her,
teaches these many, many men a lesson in consent, sort of like as an act of revenge for what had happened to Nina.
Right. And
then one day at the coffee shop, her old classmate Ryan walks in. Ryan, played by Bo Burnham, who is great in this movie, who I forgot was more than just an internet funny man from 2006.
Yeah. He is still currently an internet funny man.
Yeah. So Ryan shows up and sort of forms a connection with Cassie, and Ryan, having been sort of in this group of people from med school, it sort of reopens this door, and Cassie like ramps up her activities where she's like targeting specific people who either played an active or a passive role in what happened to Nina.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, look, I thought the premise, and I don't think that spoils anything in the trailer, by the way, because they basically let you know exactly what she's doing to these guys. That being said, I thought the premise is really interesting, right? Like this idea of calling people out in the moment, which is there's no spoilers. I haven't seen the movie, but that feels incredibly dangerous. And I'm just wondering, do they ever deal with that?
Sort of.
Okay.
Like,
right.
I don't want to spoil anything,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a sense of severe danger as far as what she is doing, particularly when it comes to her like ramping up and targeting specific people that had a relation to Nina.
Right.
The atmosphere changes scene to scene are wild. So
what are your overall thoughts on this, though? Did this actually accomplish what it seemed to be planning? Because this is about as message heavy as you're going to get for a movie like this. At least the trailer showed that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there are, unfortunately, way too many women out there who can relate to having been taken advantage of while they were drunk. And I think there are a lot of men out there who may watch this and feel uncomfortable for having played a passive role in something bad happening to someone else. Like, I hope this is the kind of movie that I hope kind of strikes up some uncomfortable conversations for people. But yeah, I mean, it's really good. It is absolutely a thriller. It has moments where it's very funny. I don't necessarily know that I would call it a black comedy. It is a thriller first. But like it has just like these really brilliantly like tender moments between Carey Mulligan and Bo Burnham, especially because those two sort of like strike up a relationship with each other, and their chemistry is so good. Both when it's them being in love with each other and when it's them like having a go at each other as well.
Right.
When it comes to talking about what happened to Nina. So, yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant movie in its writing and its direction and in its acting. Well, very good.
I don't think I've ever seen Carey Mulligan in much that I haven't really, really loved her in. Like, I think she is an incredible talent. So from her, from just a perspective of her, I'm not even remotely surprised. But I don't think I know this director.
This is her first feature.
Wow. Emerald Fennell. Oh, that's interesting. She's also an actress. Oh, she was in Anna Karenina and Albert Nobbs, which I both saw. So, okay, cool. Those are both really great movies. Back when I got to see like movies that didn't feature like puppets or animated characters.
I want to fucking shout out Bo Burnham, especially because he showed a range in this movie that I don't think many people would have expected from him.
General internet funny man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's a comedian first and like kind of a musician as well. And then, you know, I guess he wrote and directed that film 8th Grade, which I heard was very good. I didn't see it. And then like he's acting in a very serious sense in this movie as well. So yeah, it was it was really cool to see sort of his growth as an actor in this movie.
I like a good face turn for comedians, like into drama. Like that's always because I think they are much more apt to do it going that way than a dramatic character actor going the other way. Comedy is really fucking hard. Yeah. But comedians are generally fucked up, so they can pull a drama a little bit easier, even though it seems like they, you know, logically maybe shouldn't be able to. So overall, do you have a score out of 5?
Like 4.5.
Wow.
Like there's not much to really sort of complain about this. Like sometimes the pacing is a little all over the place, and there's definitely a lot of things that are inferred, and it's almost like I almost wish that they would have like told a little bit more.
Sure.
But yeah, it's brilliant in how it's written and in how uncomfortable it makes you, even as you're rooting for Cassie to sort of get her revenge.
Right.
There are moments where you're like, is she really doing the right thing here?
Right. But that's life, right? Like things like that get messy, even if you feel like you're morally right. So that makes a lot of sense.
It is certainly a messy movie.
Okay.
I like that. I would certainly recommend it. I mean, the only thing is that, there does sort of have to be that sort of content warning or trigger warning. Like there are some, even though you don't see it, there's definitely some graphic descriptions of sexual violence and whatnot. So if you're not like, if you can't do that, that's fine. But then this movie just isn't going to be for you. So
all right, there you go. That's a fair warning. All right, that's it for us. That's a review 4 to 4.5 for Promising Young Woman, starring Carey Mulligan. That is out in the United States on Christmas Day, December 25th. So my guess is you'll probably be able to rent it right around that time anyway, or soon thereafter. So
yeah, I mean, the way that films are releasing right now, I don't even know if it's releasing on Christmas. It may be rolling out earlier than that, but coming soon. Yeah.
I do think it actually is releasing, but that's like seven theaters. Like, so who knows? If you're listening to this, you probably will not be able to see it in the theater anywhere near you. So rent it, I guess. That's safer. All right. That's it for us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.